Welcome back to another episode of the Cycle Podcast, the show where we cover 4 trending MLB topics in 20 minutes or less. Joining me as always is Josh, aka Kaboomski. Josh, how you doing today, buddy?
What's going on, buddy? Thank you for having me back on the show. Ready to get after it.
Absolutely. Big announcement. We are reaching the end of April, meaning we're going to be going back to every week episodes. Now that baseball season is in full swing,
Let's
I'm done
go.
with coaching. Josh, you're almost done with coaching, or are you wrapping up?
Almost. We're wrapping it up, so we'll see what happens.
Perfect. Can't wait to be back here every single week. So make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you can catch every single episode. With that, let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
On our last episode, we predicted the AL awards. So today we're doing the NL, and I will start. Let's go MVP first. This one is probably the hardest to pick because we're not allowed to use Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, for the NL, not being allowed to pick Paul Skeens, also very difficult. But for MVP, I went with James Wood. He's right now number 1 in on-base percentage, number 1 in home runs, number 6 in RBIs in the National League, and I don't see him slowing down. Mostly due to the fact that last season he was already showing flashes of greatness, elite bat-to-ball skills, great power, just an all-around strong player. And I think Washington may be on the upswing here. They've got some young talent. They've got a guy they can build around. Pitching staff obviously lacking, but I see that as the next phase of their long rebuild, going back to their World Series win. And I think James Wood is that dude that you can build a franchise around. He has all the tools. Maybe not elite defense, but his bat more than makes up for that.
Yes.
Cy Young, this was the easiest one for me to pick. Christopher Sanchez from Philadelphia. He's a strikeout machine. And in modern baseball, that's what you want. If you're going to win the Cy Young, you've got to strike out a lot of people. He's playing for a decent team right now. The Phillies, even though they're on one heck of a slide, I still think they're a team that will fight back into contention. They've got some of the tools. They've got the Schwarber and Harper. And like we've said, this is sort of their last run. And Christopher Sanchez is the dude until Zach Wheeler's 100%. So I've got him eking out Paul Skeens. And especially with Paul Skeens going Rookie of the Year and Cy Young in back-to-back years, when does the voter fatigue start there? When do they want to give an award to someone else? Because it's completely possible that Paul Skeens wins like 5 of the next 7 Cy Young.
Easily.
For the Rookie of the Year, I am diverting from our pre-planned agreement on Rookie of the Year. I'm going with Sal Stewart from Cincinnati, a dude who's already compiled 1.2 WAR, 27 hits, 8 home runs, hitting .297 with 24 RBIs, leading the National League. He is a force. He came up last year for a very short stint, made the team out of camp this year, and hasn't slowed down. He has been an elite offensive producer for the Reds. They also are a team who has some talent on offense. I don't necessarily see them competing for the playoffs, but I see Sal Stewart absolutely making a name for himself, making an all-star team. And Connor Griffin, not off to the best start. Obviously, he had the two home run game. He's had some flashes. We know he's that guy. The question is, does he really get going soon enough to catch up to some of the other dudes who have been producing as rookies this season? Josh, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, no, those great picks. I especially like the James Wood pick. I was kind of leaning on him too. I did not expect you to go with him. I was, how I like to love on my local guys. Him being an IMG guy is something that I like to make sure that I support. But for MVP, and just so you know here, I kind of went off the wall. Okay, I want to preface my choices before I get absolutely killed in the comment section, which I'm okay with. Bring it on, but hear me out here. First of all, the season's still young, right? And I'm going off of track records and what the teams need, right? So with that being said, give a little foreshadowing of our next segments coming up. I'm picking for my MVP, Francisco Lindor. Okay, guys, hear me out before we go. I get it. I know he's batting 190 something right now. I think he has like a homer or two. He's off to one of the slowest starts in his career. He's not. That's not him. I think it's a factor of him and the team not being, or excuse me, the team being slow, and it's affecting his ability as well. If the team gets to on their tracks and start getting rolling, it's going to be solely because of Francisco Lindor. So when I look at MVP, I think about the player that affects the team the most and that affects the team's success the most. So if the Mets are going to turn it around, he has to be the one to turn it around. So I'm kind of betting on him that he's going to make the team, back on track, and he's going to be the one that's going to front their spearhead that charge going in towards the end of the season. For Cy Young, another one that's off the wall. I don't remember the last time we had a reliever win a Cy Young. Mason Miller.
Eric Gagne,
Mason.
Last one was Eric Gagne, yeah.
Good. I would like to compare his stats to what Mason Miller has going on right now. I believe that he has a 0 ERA right now. He had like a 0 ERA right now, and I believe he's still having like a strikeout rate of consecutive innings going on. The guy is lights out. He has a hell of a walkout song that goes to part with his style of pitching. I think that the WBC helped him and propelled him to a level where he hit the ground running at the beginning of the season. So as long as he stays healthy and the team provides for him, not only is he going to be the best closer in the game, but I think he makes a legitimate push for that Cy Young. Lastly, I wore the hat just for him today. My neighbor, as we all know, is the bullpen coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He gave me this hat before they left for their first opening day series. And I wanted to wait to wear this hat on this show until we started talking about our man, Connor Griffin. As you guys know, I've been talking about him since last year. I've been on the train. The guy's a stud, 19 years old. I mean, he's batting .233. He has, like I said, 1 home run, 12 RBIs, 6 stolen bases. He is somewhat of at a slow start, but the comfortable aspect is there. He doesn't have to look behind his shoulder to see if, somebody else is going to, take his spot. He doesn't have to look at it behind his shoulder to see if they're going to, bring him back down to the minor leagues. I don't think they'll do that. And I think that they're throwing him into the fire and letting him learn. And I think that if anybody's going to do that, it's him. This guy is a different breed. When we talk about, the kids talk about, oh, I'm him, or, oh, he's him. Connor Griffin is him, guys. Yeah. So he will put it together. He may not be a spectacular, have a spectacular breakout season this year, but it's going to be one that not only is going to help the Pittsburgh Pirates make a push for the division title, but it's going to propel him for him to get that Rookie of the Year as well. I truly believe that.
Yeah, and I only went against Connor Griffin because Sal Stewart has made it so difficult to ignore. And I think it's going to be a tight race because Connor Griffin, by the All-Star break, is going to be in that conversation, obviously. He's going to have put up some numbers. But I love the Mason Miller pick because Mason Miller was the other dude I was going with. So hats off to you on that one. With that, let's move on to the aforementioned next topic.
Let's go.
Next up is a segment we're going to be continuing over the next few shows, which is panic level. Obviously, by this point in the season, you have fans overreacting. You have fans already calling their seasons over. You have fans claiming that the World Series is theirs. So we're going to try to get in the middle of those over and under reactions, sort of give a reasonable take on where some of these teams stand, and give a general consensus. You okay there, partner?
Sorry, yes.
You're good. Of the panic level. We are starting with the New York Mets today, and I am setting their panic level at red. I know you are more optimistic, but as a math teacher and an analytics guy, their season is over. Their season is over. They're the 139th team to have a 12-game losing streak at any point in the season. Josh, how many of those teams in the past have made the playoffs? Of those 139?
There's got to be at least one.
It's 0.
No
team has ever had a 12-game losing streak and then made the postseason. So mathematically, there is a 0% chance, given the history, that they make the playoffs. And if you're a Mets fan, you have to make the playoffs this year. You missed
Yes.
the playoffs last year. It's World Series or bust for them, and they are already statistically eliminated based on the stats I gave you. Obviously, they could have a 15-game win streak and be right back in it. But here's the most concerning stat I looked up:
Okay.
a 161 runners in scoring position batting average, a 0.94 runners in scoring batting average with 2 outs. In late innings, their batting average with runners in scoring position is .056. That is
Can't win ball games.
atrocious. They are not hitting, period, when they are getting chances. And the offense is putrid, but the pitching staff is doing okay. And that's a
Right.
complete flip-flop over what we expected. You have injuries to Soto, Lindor, and Polanco, sort of exacerbating I can't talk right now, making it much worse.
Yes.
You lost Alonso, Nimmo, and Diaz, and it's becoming more and more evident that they were the heart and soul of this team.
Oh,
The
yeah.
lockdown closer, the power bat, and the clubhouse guy. You can't lose all three of those at once. And you bring in Devin Williams, downgrade. You bring in Marcus Semien, downgrade. You bring in Bo Bichette, who early in the season looking like a downgrade. So a team that missed the playoffs last year, in large part because of chemistry issues, got rid of a lot of the glue guys that keep that locker room together and replaced them with worse versions. So I really do think it's over. If you're a Mets fan, become a Yankees fan for the rest of the season. Do something, because statistically, the numbers look bad, and the trends of other teams who have gone on stretches this bad say that you don't come back from it. But Josh, I'll let you be more rational, perhaps maybe a little bit more positive.
Well, isn't there that saying that there's a first time for everything?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start off with that. But that analytics is, I love that you're an analytic guy and a numbers guy, because those are amazing facts and stats that you bring to the table. Whereas I kind of go with the vibes and what's going on and the chemistry level and stuff like that. Mets fans remind me a little bit of Jets fans, right? They're always so hopeful, but they know that at the end of the day, they're not going to make it. And it's tough being a Mets fan, I would assume, for those reasons. But if they don't figure it out quick, first of all, Mendoza's gone. And with Mendoza gone, I think they bring in Alex Cora. And so I'm just throwing a quick prediction out there that I just thought about in my head as you were speaking. But really, though, my panic level, I'm at a yellow, maybe a yellow-orange type deal. I'm not too worried. Yeah, 12-game losing streak sucks. And then after hearing those numbers, like, it has to take a lot out of you. But the thing that they got going for them is the beginning of the year still, guys. So they can make a big turnaround. Their division is not like a super powerhouse where they're going to be falling behind. I mean, I don't even think they're in the last place in the division, if I'm not mistaken.
Phillies might be in last
I think
place.
exactly. So, and that's a big team that's, sitting behind them. So, like I mentioned in the last segment with Francisco Lindor, he's going to have to pick it up. I mean, he's one that kind of wants that responsibility, for lack of better terms, and be that person that A, brings the team back to justice and where they need to be at, but B, to keep that glue together if they were to make a push down in October. I don't think that the panic level is too hot to press right now, but it's something that the Mets fans need to figure out quick. I think that it's going to be a change in their front office first before they start making some player changes. And that's why I feel like Francisco Lindor is going to be the key factor. I really want to, throw Soto's name in the mix. But like we talked
to say about Soto,
but like we talked about off air, I don't think he is a clubhouse guy. No. I don't think that he is a guy that, teammates want to go out and fight for that guy. Like, hey, that guy is putting it on the line. I got to do the same. Well, no, he's not putting it on the line. So that's where I feel like that's going to be a big problem for the Mets. And it sucks that they're locked into him for A, the amount of money, but B, the amount of years as well. So, do they turn it around? Do they make the playoffs? I don't know. I'm really trying to be optimistic about the situation and say yes. But I'm a realist at the end of the day. So I am panicking a little bit.
Yeah. So about Soto, you remember the Washington Nationals? They won the World Series. Remember they were in the bottom of the division at the All-Star break, came back to win the World Series.
Yeah.
Who was the best player on that team?
Juan Soto.
So it's always possible. And
it is.
I'll leave you guys with that little tidbit. Let you think on it. Let it stew. And we're going to move on to our next topic. Our third topic is going to be discussing the 2026 City Connect jerseys. And my question is this a culture thing or is it a cash grab? Because this is a new style of jerseys that they are refreshing every 3 years for every team. So we just saw the Kansas City Royals get new City Connect despite the old ones being extremely popular with fans. And the thing about these jerseys is they're flashy, they're bright, they draw a lot of attention, and I'm sure they sell well because they're new. And fans want to be the fan that has the new hat, the new jersey. And the MLB and teams in general are making a ton of money off of these jerseys. I also don't see the actual City Connect in a lot of these jerseys. For example, the new Cincinnati Reds jerseys. They just look like travel baseball jerseys with a reimagined logo. Now, there are some good ones. I really like the Padres Dia de los Muertos jerseys. I really like the Baltimore's Be More with the old school looking Oriole on it. But for the most part, like I said, they look like travel baseball jerseys or men's slow pitch softball jerseys. They don't look like baseball jerseys in a sport that has so much tradition, is so deeply embedded in, the city's roots. These teams that have been in their city for over 100 years, doing away with a lot of what their fans recognize in their jerseys and bring out these really flashy jerseys that look like social media designs. Like you went on TikTok and asked a bunch of people to design a jersey. And my question is, how many of the people at Nike that are designing these jerseys or the people with the team are actually from the city, actually have roots in the city and understand the culture and the history and what the people want? And I don't see that in a lot of them. For example, the Rangers one just looks like a Texas Longhorns jersey in red, and they changed Texas to Tejas. It doesn't say anything about Dallas or Fort Worth or wherever the Rangers are located for me. So, Gus, what's your take on the jerseys? Do you think it's neat that they're bringing baseball into the more modern era, like the MLB or like the NBA and the NFL have done at times? Or do you think they should just stick with the jerseys that people are comfortable with? Go ahead.
So no, I think that what you said at the beginning, the question was it a cash cow or was it a culture? I think it's on the cash side of things. I think that the thought process and the intentions of making it more cultural or bringing the community in with the organization is there. I think that they tried, but I think that where they failed at was another point that you brought up was I don't think that they really surveyed the homegrown people, the community itself. What does Chicago not know about Tampa Bay? That maybe we could put on our jerseys. What does, Tampa Bay not know about Kansas City that we can, okay, well, that's where they came from, so that's where I feel they fell short of. I know that the intentions were there, but I think that they fell short on that. So if they can fix that, then I'll be on board because I do think that this is a cash cow. Another thing that you mentioned was another point of mine. It's very NBA-esque. When you talk about the NBA, they may have like 2 or 3 primary uniforms, but they literally, a team would wear maybe 6. I don't want to say 6, 7, please. So 6 to 8 different uniforms that kind of are modernized or are kind of futuristic. And speaking of futuristic, when we were younger, I don't know if you remember this, MLB brought a little stint there where they were bringing future uniforms. It was like
turn ahead the clock. Yeah, those were sick.
Right, and those were pretty cool. Like they had the cutoffs. Some of them had cutoffs. They had the names in the back going up and down rather than horizontal.
But they did it
and
for
that
like
was
a weekend, not all season long.
correct. And I think that when we think of baseball, right? When we think of baseball as a whole, they're very traditional in their roots. They're very, this is our lane. We're going to stay in our lane. We're going to do things our way. We're America's pastime. We're going to have, the list keeps on going on why they're going to stick to the lane. And I think that that's why another reason why they're falling short with this is because they're not used to getting out of their lane. They're not used to expanding the brand, so to speak, to bring in more fandom, the younger crowd, the flashiness that the younger kids like. So they're trying, they're just not there yet. And I think that, excuse me, I think another team that we got to throw in the mix that I think they kind of hit the nail on the head was the Arizona Diamondbacks. I feel like have a good city connect when they talk about Los Serpientes. They tied in the Latin community there. There's a shit ton of or crap ton of snakes there too. So like they kept that name to go with their original name. So I think that they got to get a little bit of a shout out too. But just to revisit what you were talking about, then like I said, the intentions were there. I just think that this is more of a cash flow rather than them having the passion of the community really displayed on their uniforms.
I agree. And my advice to the MLB for the next round, go into every city, find a handful of clothing designers, of people who are based in the city, have them all design a jersey and then put it up to a fan vote and let the fans pick the next one, because then you really are getting to the roots. And if people look at it and say, this is just a generic Nike flashy jersey, we don't want that. We're going to go with the one where we say, okay, so the logo, the colors, all of this really speaks to us. We'll vote for that. And I think it would bring a lot of new fans in because they want to watch the teams play in the jerseys that they voted on. So MLB, give me a call for your marketing team. I'll be available. I don't do that much over the summer. So with that, let's move ahead to our last topic. Our last topic is, of course, everyone's favorite. And I don't know if that's true. We just always say it. It's our favorite.
It's our favorite for sure.
My who's hot, obviously, is Jose Soriano. Dude is off to one of the hottest starts in recent memory. He is a dog. 6 games, 37.2 innings pitched, a 0.24 ERA. And you see that sometimes in like 2-game stretches. I don't remember the last time we saw that in a 6-game stretch. His K rate is up. His walk rate is down from last year. He's sitting at 43 strikeouts and 13 walks. He has allowed 1 run on a solo home run.
That's crazy.
He has a 100% left on base rate. So people that are getting on base, not moving around, he's made really 1 mistake pitch this year that resulted in a home run. Sorry. So 12 wins for the Angels so far, which means 43% of their wins are Jose Soriano's 5 credited wins.
That's crazy.
And the only game he hasn't picked up a win is because it was a no decision. So he has not lost a game this year. And with vintage Trout sort of being back and Soriano dealing like he is, it's giving Angels fans something to tune into. And I think that's an organization that needs some positive energy because they've been so bad. They lost Shohei Ohtani. They've signed some awful contracts that have destroyed their progress. So good on him, good on them. And I'm happy for the fans out there because having a pitcher like that you can rally around once or twice a week changes an organization. A guy where you say, okay, we're on a 3-game losing streak, but Soriano's on the mound tomorrow. Let's break out of this funk. But with that, Josh, I'll turn it over to you because you stole my Who's Hot this week. Shame on you.
I know, just like I stole him in my fantasy league too. I saw him on the waivers. I'm like, what's happening here? Power. I have power. That's what I'm gonna mess this up.
Murakami.
Thank you. I'm just gonna call him Murakami. How about that? Murakami. So when he did his first press conference, and the commentator was like, "What's something that the Southside faithful should know about you, or what are you going to bring to the table?" He grabbed the mic from him, looked dead in the camera, and said, "Power. I have power." And power is what he displayed, ladies and gentlemen. He's hit 7 out of his last 8 games. He has had at least 1 home run. He's batting .242, obviously with those 11 home runs, 20 RBIs. The guy is there. The guy is going to be a staple. He's somebody that you can build around in that lineup. He is on fire right now. Another crazy stat. I know you like stats, so I was ready for this one. There's 4 guys in the MLB as of right now this year that have hit a ball off the bat with the exit velo of 115 miles per hour and more. There's only 4 of them. He happens to be one of them. But he is the only one to have done that 8 different times. He has hit the ball 115 miles an hour or greater 8 different times, and only 4 players have done that this year. So when the guy said he has power, he is not playing around. And that's why he is my who's hot right now.
And so many questions about him coming over, his inability to hit the fastball. They said the same thing about Ohtani because over in Japan, the big leg kick is super common because they're sitting on the splitter, which is like the official pitch of Japan. You come over here where guys are pumping at 98, 99, just lower the leg kick. That's what Ohtani did. That's what Murakami's doing. It's not an issue. And when the White Sox signed him, the idea was that so many of the big teams passed on him because of that. It's a non-issue. This is the major leagues. Coaches can take someone with raw power and bat-to-ball skills and tweak their swing, and they can catch up to a fastball.
And that's the thing. His swing doesn't really need any tweaking because if you take the leg kick out of it and just look at his top side of his swing, it's very beautiful. Yeah. It's a very compact A to B, lot of there's not a lot of moving parts. His head is still. Just something for left-handed young batters that are out right now. Look at the top half of his swing, meaning his head, the way he loads his hands up, how he's quiet with that, and the A to B swing through the zone. It just can't be touched right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope he doesn't stay hot because the Royals have to see the White Sox a lot this season. But with that, let's wrap things up. Josh, thank you so much for coming on the show. As always, we are going back to weekly episodes, like I said before. Oh, and breaking news. Not long before we recorded this episode, the Red Sox fired everybody, by the way.
Yes, they did.
Everybody, except Craig Breslow, which is hilarious because he's the one that put this staff together, and now he's firing all of them like, not my mistake. But we didn't get to squeeze that into the topic, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Josh,
Alex Cora to the Mets.
Else? I'm sorry, what?
Alex Cora to the Mets.
I would not doubt it in the least. I'll take him in Kansas City because we need to clear out our entire staff as well. With that, guys, we'll see you next time. Josh, thank you so much again for coming on the show.
I appreciate it, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and bring these questions on as we'll be making some more shows on a weekly basis. Bring it on.
Leave them in the comments. We'll get to them.
Gablumski out.